I'm listening to the birds sing. February 1st. Oh my goodness, we're already way into 2026. Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California. I have a lot to say about gardening. I know you're looking at all this and going, wait a minute. You got blue skies and you've had 80 degrees all week and probably 80 again today. You know what? Let me tell you something. That's not normal for Southern California. We normally are cold. Our coldest months here start in December and then they go on through January. February we're cold. March we're still cold at night. We could be in the 40s. But every year is different. No different than you. This is the front yard. So listen to what I have to say. Don't fret. There's a lot that will be going on for you and for me. So let's walk through here as we talk about gardening and nature and hummingbirds and everything. Oh, the hummingbirds are keeping me really busy. The front yard has been untouched. I love the irrigation tubing. Let me tell you something. You get this so cheap. And this was put on a couple years ago and look how great it looks. All I have to do is drape my tool over it and I just leave it up. Took the tool down so the plants can do their thing. I've got some milkweed that died back but actually should be trimmed. So I will be trimming that fairly soon. I've got the red vein sorrel, I got geraniums, and I should have other things starting to pop up later. I've got some garlic chives in there. But all in all, everything is wild, which has worked out really well because in the spring, March, April, May, you get a lot of birds that come into all these plants, the geraniums, and they build their nests and have their babies here. They have the shade from the pine trees that have gotten incredibly big, and they just like it in here. And I'll get some water fountains in here. I don't have any right now, but I have in the past. I'm going to set that table up, and we're going to have a garden going. There's a lot going on. Let's keep going. I am totally aware that throughout the United States, 3/4 of it pretty much is pretty much under a freeze. I've heard it all. I've seen other gardeners come on and talk to you about it and say, you poor thing, you've lost your garden. Buy seeds, start over. Let me say something on that. Let's keep going. You know what? We will have to go down, not today, and see what's in Gary's garden. I told Gary, that's his garden down there. I have to hike it. And it is a hike. I said to him, I want to go do a garden tour. And he said, you can't. I said, well, then I'll just go down without you and walk around. He goes, you can't. And I said, why? I haven't been down there in 2 months. He said, you can't walk. What do you mean you can't walk? He said, it's all overgrown. I said, do you know how neat that is? That in the winter you cannot walk because your garden is overgrown? I may go down there anyways. Maybe I'll go down before he clears it and works on it. Because as you can see, he's got papayas poking up there, his bananas. He's got all those passion fruits and all those plants. He's got ube, everything growing. Who knows what else is there? He's got his jackfruit growing. So a lot is going on. So if you want to see his garden without him, because he says, no, we can't do it, I can't walk in there, then I'll just walk through. You and me. We'll take a look. He says nobody's going to want to see an overgrown garden. I do. Speaking of overgrown, look at this brassica. What is this thing? 6-7 feet tall? This is the bird garden. Yeah, we're going a different way this time. The bird garden is doing really good. Now remember, I always say these yellowing leaves to me are gold. This is no joke. This is what makes your garden grow. So when your plant turns yellow, and it goes back in there and starts to die back, let me get the glare off. I can't do it. See, the sun is glaring. This is how it works. This is how nature is doing its thing. It's constantly rebuilding soil. We'll talk about that more as we go through. So the bird garden, I have been experimenting with different things. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to set up what. I'm working with different plants in here. And you know, let me talk about this real quick. These totes are a good 9 years old. They may be going on 10, and they're still going strong. These 3 green, well, they kind of faded. See what they used to look like? More towards the bottom there. They're doing really good. How much longer they're going to last? I don't know. But as long as I don't touch them, well, that's another tote that's a good 8 years old. So each tote is different. Some will last a year. Some can last 10 years. You never know. But going back to here, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to spread this across. I want to keep this open so I can see. It's hard for you to see right now because the sun is coming up. No, I haven't had breakfast yet. So I figured I'd do this while it's quiet. People get their gardeners in here and they start weed whacking and everything. And I thought, no, I want to do this when it's quiet here. Now, this is an interesting plant. Let's see. I've got my blanket flower. You know what? My blanket flower, which is here, is not happy. It's not getting enough sun. That flower, that plant needs a lot of sun, but this is a weed. This is like a wild daisy or a wild sunflower. And I took a cutting of this and I planted it. This one's growing down here. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's trying to get to the sun. I'm not overly worried about it right now because this is going to diminish as we get warmer. Yes, we're 80 degrees during the day, but we're still 50, 45 at night. So the plant is loving the cool weather at night. But as it gets warmer and our nights are warmer, oh, the birds didn't find the bugs. Let's kind of bend it that way. Then this plant will die back. It won't be as vigorous, as big. The leaves won't be like elephant ears. Look at the size of these things. And we are using this. I've been cooking with this. I shred it up and put it on a frying pan or a pot with a little butter. Oh, Gary loves it. I also shred it up in a chopper. You know how I've done my green drink it. So we are absolutely loving this plant and using it. And I can get cuttings off of it. Let me get you out of the sun. So we're doing a lot of different things here and growing a lot of food in with the bird garden. That's why I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to extend it and how I'm going to protect the birds, because occasionally a hawk will come through and sit. Now, they do come in here and sit, which scares the birds off because they're trying to figure out, well, how am I going to catch a bird? Can't catch them when they're in here. And by the time the bird sees a hawk, they go down into any of these plants that are here. Then you got the pumpkin I made, which they absolutely love. It's the funniest thing. They go in the pumpkin, they come out the top or out here. This works out really good. This needs a little more decor. Painter's tape, come on, Robbie. No, but that's the way I do it together quick and it works. Then you've seen this. Oh, so I made the video on this, which is going crazy. It's going viral and the birds love this. This is a football chip and dip tray. I guess you'd put your dips in here and your chips in the middle or whatever you want to do. Well, they sold out. I went to Dollar Tree and I said, I want one more. And they said, oh no, they had a mad rush. Somebody put a video up. Everybody's running in. Where's the chip and dip trays? Because they were $1.25, so they sold out of these. Don't fret. I've got a fabulous one coming up that you won't have to use this. And it's going to be, I'm going to say cheaper and better. Though it's kind of sad that they don't have them anymore. But if you want to see the video, it works out good. And then I just decorated it with the plastic plants. Now, it's doing more than just decorating it. It's also causing an issue for who? The predators, the hawks that come in here. They sit up here, they look around, it's like, well, how am I gonna dive bomb this bird and catch it? What is this? They don't know what it is, so they don't want to fly into it. And I love that you can bend it around and kind of change it up. So all they can do is come in here and stare. They need to swoop through and catch a bird. That's what they do. They swoop in, they grab a bird, and they keep going. They can't keep going with the wire cage on there. They can't do it with the plants. Even here, all these sticks I put all over here, the branches, it's a purpose. There is absolutely a purpose for that. Same thing, hawk comes in, sits, and it's like, how am I gonna do this? We can't stop the hawks because they're natural. And unfortunately, that's what they eat. Some of them birds, not just rats or other rodents, but they do catch birds, but they're gonna have to go somewhere else. And when I see them, we scare them off. And it is rare that I see them, but they do come in here and kind of look around, and they may occasionally come to get a drink. So this is what we're doing here, is figuring out how I'm going to do this and make different feeders. I want to get rid of some of this because it's kind of getting wobbly, and I've got other ideas of doing it. Oh, look at this one. This has been my experiment. Oh, the bird flew right by me, didn't know I was here. So I put sunflower seed up in here. See the pole? This is amazing. This is something you'd use for a party, This stretches up and goes high. And you would put balloons or something on it. So I put my feeder up there, just a simple bowl. Managed to get that hooked on really good. And I put sunflower in there, and the birds come and eat out of that. I have yet to have a squirrel figure out how to get to it. So it works out fantastic. So I've been slowly working in here. And let's kind of walk through. I think I've pointed out so many times what's in here. The dragon fruit, all different brassicas are growing through here that we eat. More here. My propagating table is kind of a mess right now, though it is still working. I picked the last of my lettuce, and then this one went to seed. So I pulled it out, let it go to seed. I'll collect the seeds. The bees will fly around it. The birds will eat some of it, and then I'll have more lettuce seed. And then this is just Hummingbirds lunch. They're in cups. They're set up like I've showed you, where they have to have the moist bottom, and then you can propagate all year long. So that's what I've been doing here. Oh, and let me back up and show you this, because I know a lot of you may or may not have seen the plastic video. This is working out fantastic. We've got a lot we have to talk about. That is sheltering the base of my fuchsia. And because I shelter it, they can continue to grow in the full blazing sun. The leaves, though, it got a little burn because we got really hot the other day, and it needs a good trimming. They don't mind the sun as much as the base of the plant. A lot of your messages to the plant is sent by the base, not the top. Think about how a lot of plants come through other plants and they grow up. They work their way up to the sun, but the trunk of the plant is covered in other plants. So it will depend on plants. So with the plastic plants or the umbrella I had there really do help to control the temperature and the UV light from the sun on the plant and how they grow. Got to get that fountain going again. They love the bowl in the back. That's been one of their favorite. Listen, oh, they're all coming in while I'm here. They don't care. But I haven't organized in here. So let's talk about your winter as we stroll through here. Look at the walking onions. What is this? This is from soap. Washed really good. A few holes. Stick in some baby walking onions. And look at, oh, we got a weed growing in there. We don't want weeds. We want all the nutrition just going to the walking onions. All right. So what am I doing this time of the year? February 1st, all through January. I'm enjoying the downtime. I'm not getting as much downtime as I usually get, but I am enjoying the downtime. What I want to do is be able to step out here and think about, what am I going to do this spring? And that's what you do. You're looking out your window and you see nothing but white. That's okay. You're resting, and guess what else is going on? All your plants are resting. The ones that come back are under the snow, and the roots are still there sleeping, hibernating like birds do and a lot of other animals do. And that is what exactly they're doing. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have this as a downtime. Think about how, can you see the birds in front of me? I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Oop, they took off. All right. Anyways, this is your downtime. Any plants that have died back after the snow is cleared becomes your new soil, which they call compost. A lot of people understand what soil is. They think you have to make compost. Well, nature's making it all the time. And that's what I want to tell you. You don't have to run out and buy seeds from people selling you seeds. Oh my goodness, your garden died. That is terrible. Get the new seeds. Stop. Take a breath. Think about your area. Think about the 4 seasons. That's what 4 seasons are. Things die back. At this time, look out the window. Enjoy nature if you can. And understand that this is natural. It's natural to get the snow. It may not be natural to get as much cold as you're getting and as much snow, but that is part of the cycle of life. Every year is different. We are not always 75 to 80 degrees this time of the year. There's times we've been freezing. It cycles out. Every year is a little different. Sometimes it runs a few years like this, and then sometimes we just get cold for a few years. So either way, I would like to have a little downtime, but I'm coming out here, I'm grooming the plants, I'm setting up. We'll keep walking and you'll see how I'm setting up. This is blanket flower. It's going to open up a new flower. And you really want to cut these off, because the faster you cut these off, the new flowers will open. I do much better propagating this plant by cuttings. And there is a special way, and I believe I got the video up, on how you can do the proper cutting to get it to grow. It's almost like pretty close to 100% if you do the right cutting. But it does need a lot of sun. So if you have a lot of shade, it won't grow as good. Got to go through here and get more of these leaves off. And I put them in a bucket, and then I just let them compost down or put them somewhere. Right now, we'll just drop it in there. It will decompose and disappear. And then this is something Gary got. It's a wild type of sunflower. Look at that. It was planted somewhere it wasn't doing good, so we put it in a bucket. It's got pine cones around it, and it's doing really good. So this should be opening up flowers soon. I hear the doves. And this is Mexican sage. Now, what I'm supposed to do is cut it way back. And when I get in here, I will compost all this. The issue is it still has flowers and the birds are still feeding on it. But see the base there? It's coming up all new. That's all new growth in there. So theoretically, I really have to cut this down. And you get, by propagating this, much better by taking pieces and chunks off the bottom, because it kind of grows out that way. So you can just keep cutting off pieces from the base. You'll get a little bit of root. But you can propagate it, but it's easier to just do it from the base. So that needs a good cutting, but isn't it pretty? It's too pretty to cut back. Gary keeps saying, you're supposed to cut it back. All right, give me another few weeks before I cut it, because the hummingbirds are feeding and the bees are feeding on that. Okay, this has gone crazy. From the cold weather at night, this is tree collared. Look at that. It's just sprawling everywhere. This one fell over. It hit the ground. All that is roots. Look at that. And that's where it came from originally when it hit the ground. See, there's the original plant. It's in this 18-gallon tote. It broke down there. I left it. I kept telling you I'm going to take it out, but I'm using it. The leaves are bigger than elephant ears back there. Unbelievable. But I eat the stalks. They're so sweet right now, this time of the year. You take this, you can take a carrot peeler and peel it, or do it with a knife, and this is just incredibly sweet, all the way up as far as you want to eat. And then the leaf itself, I juice it, I steam it, Gary makes wraps out of it. It is fantastic. But let me tell you something, you can do a lot of this with plain old Georgia collard, the same thing. And this makes the best compost tea for feeding your plants, as well as composting. Everything grows when those leaves decay. We're going to have to talk about compost tea because it does stale. So I want to talk about that another day. If you're doing compost tea, remind me. Throw in some comments saying, Robbie, you told us you're going to tell us about compost tea. It stales. And then I'll get a video up on that. Today we're just kind of walking around the garden. More flowers and plants growing all over. More dragon fruit. Look at the oranges. Or tangerines. Gary's been bringing those in. And then these are different types of brassicas growing through here in the back. It's very hard to see because the sun is glary. And we have been very glary. Lemon verbena, it does this every year, no matter what. Even if the weather warms up, it dies back. And then in the spring, come mid-March, it will start growing all new growth. But I'll kind of trim it a little bit. But see, this is another brassica. It's got powdery mildew because of our damp mornings. Again, if I really wanted to, which I should be pulling off the powdery mildew and dropping it back. Look how beautiful the new growth is. But again, this is gold. When I'm setting up new totes, I load it up with that, and that's why the plants grow so good. Free compost, free soil. Somebody asked me about my honeysuckle. I don't know if you can see it, but it is still there. It's growing all over, and I have no idea where it ended up. But it is alive, and it's back there, and it got covered by this monster that took off growing. Again, this is our food that we've been using all fall, winter. We'll use it all spring, and if I don't cut those, they're going to tumble. That tree collard has got to be 15 plus feet. The one in the middle, there's 3 of them. One already fell over a little bit. Can you see the bees? I don't know if you can see them. It's going over. That's all right. If it breaks, it breaks. And then that one is nice and straight. There's 3. A couple years ago, I've got a video of when I planted these. I took my auger out and I went ahead and I drilled some holes, dropped in 3 pieces, and that's them. So they're a couple years old. They're just massive. And that's basically all that's going on here. It's just maintaining until I'm ready to really get in here and gut it. I do take broccoli off of this all the time. And you know why this is, oh, there's a whole lot more. I just went through and snapped all this and made a wonderful stir fry with all the broccoli. I'm composting in here. Oh, seeds are growing. When I see that, I know it is time to start planting. I've got this covered because I had some rodents bothering it. So I wrapped some tulle around it, and there it is. It's going good, nothing bothers it, and now I can snap all this off and make another stir fry. But I'm composting in that bucket, so it's constantly feeding the plant. Even though this is in a pot, its roots went into the soil. So now it's grabbing from that bucket, which has holes on the bottom. The earthworms can go in there because there's holes on the bottom, big holes, and then there's also some holes on the side, and they can go in there and feed on the compost, which breaks it down and feeds the plant. So that's what's going on here. I'm getting very close to setting this up. Before I do anything, I'm going to have to get tulle around it. So as soon as I get the plants or decide what I'm going to plant in here, last year I did tomatoes, and I will do tomatoes again. I need to get the tulle back. So I'll get this all fixed up the way I want, the irrigation tubing, and then I'll just wrap it. Easy, easy. If you want, you can go see the whole video. If you want, I can probably do a video again. It's going to be basically the same thing. Painter's tape, it's been here for a year. That's why I love painter's tape. As long as you use it correctly, it will last out here for years. So it's one of my favorite things in the garden, tulle and painter's tape and irrigation tubing. Oh my goodness, and totes. Just love all that. Another tree collard. That one's in the ground and that one's going straight up there. I've got them all over. Some are in pots, some are in the ground. Again, more oranges. I've got grapefruit back there. Now this papaya, Gary's going to cut it out. That one's gone. But these two are doing really good. The one in the back is still doing okay. But look at this. We're going to have papayas as long as nothing gets to it. I've had ravens take these things down. If I was smart, I would put some, I should. I think I will wrap this with tulle fairly soon. Right now, nothing eats it when it's green like that, but as it gets bigger, it starts to turn yellow. A lot of times they get it before I do. And that'd be an easy fix. Just wrap some tulle with a little string and just drape it down. So I probably will do that. Again, this was in an 18-gallon tote. It busted out, and then we did cut the bottom of the tote as much as we could so the plant could set its roots out, which it has. Can you imagine growing papayas in an 18-gallon tote? They came up, they were growing in there, and sometimes they don't move that well, so I left it, and this is what ended up. But I'm trying to get more growing down there. I have another one that is growing down there that I planted, so it's doing really good. Let's see here. This is mint. This is Gary's room back there. Oh my gosh, I have no idea what he's going to do with all that dragon fruit. He started doing it from seed. He started doing it from cuttings. This is his gack fruit. He's got those lined up, but I don't know. I see all kinds of stuff in there. I don't really go in there. I let him do his thing. And, well, he'll figure it out. Mint. So these totes also are old. I know for a fact that these are 8 years old because I saw a video recently and they were in there. So I had picked them up from the thrift store. So let me see if I can block the sun a little bit. So they're 8 years old. I've got garlic chives growing. This is the seed heads, and they get all over. See, it grows like that, and then the seeds fall, and then they keep growing. That's mint, and mint does kind of go dormant in the winter. So this is normal for mint. Hummingbird's lunch. Again, a cutting. I believe I can't even see it anymore. Yeah, it's in a pot. It was a small plant it took off, and there's my purple Russian red curly kale back there. It's well protected. The base is protected from the Hummingbird's lunch. Here's another brassica. This is gorgeous. Another cutting, and that's in the pot there, which is good because I water that pot, and then it waters the moringa, and it keeps it damp underneath. It also usually brings earthworms. They like hiding under pots. And so this one is already making a comeback. Oh, look at the new growth. And we are early. We got a lot of new growth starting on there. And this is where I work sometimes through here and start different plants. I need more time. And that's one thing. And I don't mean time as time. Time is T-I-M-E. Let's go take a walk. More blanket flower, just sitting in cups till I find a pot for it. And then I've got the emu bush, which I grow in the bird garden. More geraniums. I got to get more stuff here. This one probably got let's see. Oh, it's still green. This one got neglected. So by me. And then we've got the rosemary. This is where sometimes I see the deer go through. Haven't seen them yet. You know why? There is so much food for them. They could be anywhere at any time. When the food starts to diminish, they look through different people's homes and properties to see if they can find greenery to eat. But right now, it's everywhere. The yellow flowers all through there are mustard. And all this will eventually have to be cut down because of weed abatement, because of fires. But right now it's green, so they don't bother you this time of the year. And then you've got the rosemary here with the purple flowers. Now this came from the 99-cent store years ago. And I planted it, and it's been growing for, I'm going to say 10 years. And I've got a few of them as you walk down. Bottle brush. We have a big bottle brush out front, and Gary found this one growing underneath. So he planted this here quite a few years ago, and it's turned to a massive tree. Just moved it from the front. Look at the grapefruits. I told him you need to start picking them. He said they're almost ripe, not quite. So he's getting close to starting to pick his grapefruits. Gary was going to do a project here, and he decided he's not going to do this. So this is mine to do what I want with. So I'll think about it as time goes on. We did end up buying a couple more of these dog kennels because they work out so well. And I had plans. You know what? Let's get into the rainbow garden now so you can see it. And I'll tell you, there's been some changes, so things could change again. So I've got to get in here and clear all the milkweed out. That's the first thing I need to do. Now this is doing fantastic. Look how big this purple mustard is. And Gary uses this when he makes breakfast. So for now, we're going to leave that. I really want to take this out, but the south thistle, see that little white fly and bugs on top? That feeds so many birds, and it doesn't bother the other plants. Caterpillars will get on there because it's only tooled around the bottom for the squirrels. But the white fly don't worry about, or the caterpillars, because the birds get in there and take most of them off. So this one I'm not going to do anything with right away. And then I've got this tomato plant that's made a big comeback. I mean, big comeback. I know I tell you all the time that I don't want to leave plants, I want to start fresh, but I will cater to these two for now and leave them and dress it up a little bit. In other words, top it up with some more leaves and soil from the ground, whatever I can find, and build it up and let these two go. All these, though, have to come out because this can be catered to and taken care of. This is really good. We eat the red vein sorrel, and then this is pepino. This has to come out completely because this is all milkweed. So those are going to go in pots for the butterflies, for the monarchs, and I can move them around the garden where I want. I am going to change up a couple things in here, and I think one of them are going to be growing potatoes in buckets. It did not work out for me this year. Last year, I should say. I'll step around and show you what's going on. I've done it before, and then this tower really needs refurbishing, the strawberries. And another thing, I have people give me plants. I'm not taking any more plants. They give you plants because they think it's neat. It's an exotic, fun strawberry to grow, but they never grow good. There's a lot of strawberries that grow really good here. I'm going to pick out the strawberries I want because when I pick out the ones I want, I end up with a lot of strawberries. I'm not looking into exotic, odd-looking growing plants. I want to grow plants that I'm going to eat and give me an abundance of food. That's what you want to do, especially if you're first starting, because there's nothing better than going out and picking stuff out of your garden. If you got exotic stuff growing and it doesn't grow good, you'll get discouraged and you'll give up on gardening. So I'm going to do it completely my way and be careful on what I buy and be careful what I take, because I end up catering the stuff that somebody gives me when I really want to grow what I want. And Gary just doesn't take from anybody. Here is, oh, he did take some bananas, but that was a trade because they both wanted each other's banana plants. Going back to this, I had this lined up and I had all my potatoes growing in here in the 5-gallon buckets. Now the issue was I got very small potatoes because when I lifted them, within a week, this giant pepper tree was sending its roots to the base of the bucket, especially the ones that had the holes on the bottom. Some of them have the holes just above the bottom, and it robbed the nutrients from the potatoes, number one. The ones with the holes that were just above the bottom, well, they did a little better, but then I had the rabbits getting in there. I covered everything with tulle, and it was like a fight for the potatoes. So I might do a couple potatoes in buckets, but I think I'm going to put the potatoes in totes. When a tote is on a chair or elevated on blocks, I have much more control than something here on the ground. We have too much nature and too many critters that want to get into everything. So I'm going to try a few different things. I want potatoes, but I'm not going to overdo potatoes only because of one reason. I can get 10 pounds of potatoes many times from the store. And we eat potatoes, but not a ton of them, for like $3 to $4. Okay, so let's say I grow one bucket and I'm lucky enough to get 10 pounds. Let's just say I'm lucky enough. In one 5-gallon bucket, I grow that for 3 months and I get 10 pounds of potatoes, wash it up, cook it up. It's gone in a couple days, and I put a lot of effort out into growing in a 5-gallon bucket of potatoes, right? If I'm growing tomatoes, if I'm growing pepinos, a lot of you don't even know what it is. It's in the tomato family, but Gary likes it. Let's say if I'm growing tomatoes or peppers or red bean sorrel or greens, any brassica, in 3 months' time, I could have grown over $100 worth of food. A little bundle, a few leaves of greens is $3 and $4 if they're organic. Can you imagine how much greens we get from the garden? I get so much more out of growing other foods than I do get by growing potatoes. So because they're so incredibly cheap here, the price is unbelievable, that it would be better off for me to concentrate on other things. I want to grow more beans this year. I want to grow more greens, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, broccoli. There's a lot of other things I want to grow. Even celery, which I just noticed is coming up here. And this is the green. Oh, yes, it is the green. I like green celery over red. I get so much out of that than I do out of potatoes. So we'll grow a couple potatoes in buckets, but I think you're going to find that I do far better with potatoes growing in totes because we can wrap each chair. Each tote is an individual garden, and it has enough room to spread its wings, spread its roots, and grow in the tote itself. 18 gallons these are. You can go bigger. You can go up to 30, 40, 45. That's up to you. And you know I'm not in the raised beds. And why? Because it's too much work. Here's the dog kennel. I'm not doing much in here right now. Really, I'm not. My thyme is making a comeback. This is thyme growing in a pot, see? There is soil there. And then I've got a lot of cuttings in here. I've got a little lettuce growing in there. Here I'm just keeping alive my papaya until I figure out where I want to put it. So that's all the ones I wanted. And these are all strawberry papaya. Look how big they are already. So I'll get those transplanted when I figure out a place. And here I've got Hummingbird's lunch. This is a brassica, which needs a good grooming, but that's a brassica. Another one back there. So I don't have tulle on here, so insects can't get in. Let's turn around and go out. But that's okay. Isn't that something? This thyme made it, and I'm using from this thyme. But the thyme, let's go up here. That's in there, in the pizza garden. No, it died back completely. It's gone. I'll have to replant that one. So a little shelter really did help it because it's not far. So that worked out really good. So I'm going to grow more of what I like. Now there's going to be some things I may want to try. But as far as growing food, I want to be able to put my effort into stuff we're going to grow. Here's the other dog kennel. I'm almost where we were going to change things up. I'm letting the weeds do their thing. because this is all going to go into the 2 blue totes in the back. All this will be my soil, the start of soil. Live, living soil. Not stuff you're buying in a bag. That is actually, look at the ingredients, wood chips, and then they fortify it with, oh my gosh. I knew somebody that bought something and didn't know what some of the words were in there. When they found out what it was, they had to shovel everything up. They didn't need to, but they got frightened. They shoveled everything up and they threw it away in the trash because you cannot believe some of the sewage that goes into some of the soil. Look, that's a monarch caterpillar chrysalid. And they're all over the place. I saw monarchs yesterday. So here it's got to be dressed up. I'll come in here when I'm ready, probably pretty soon. This came up in the compost. It's an avocado tree. You know what I should do? I should actually try to graft on that. And if it works, leave it right there, then move it. If it doesn't work, compost it. Eggplant, it's struggling, but that's okay. It'll come back in the spring really nice. And again, they're in their own pots, but there's soil in here too, so they can send their roots out. This is just some Swiss chard growing. Is there another mustard in here? Beautiful with lettuce. Peppers, you saw peppers as we walked through. Lettuce. These just have to be transplanted somewhere. I've got to find a place for them. Just different. This is purple tree colored, and this is the curly kale. And then, oh, I told Gary to pick this. It's starting to turn yellow. It won't be bitter yet because it was purple the other day, but I told him to go ahead and do something with it. Mustard, something got in there and ate it. I didn't care. It's probably caterpillar. I'm sure it was. And that can, not, and I can start fresh. I should let it go to seed because that is growing from my own seeds. I did not plant mustard last year. Every place you see mustard, it was just from the year before, seeds that went flying. All right, so we've looked through here. Now these are the totes. Yeah, I don't know if Walmart still has them. $37 for 8 of them. Now the last thing I needed was more totes. I've got other totes in the house, different colors, but I looked at them and I really liked them and I wanted to see how they were. They're fantastic. So I've set up right now 5 of them here. And they're kind of in succession, as you would say. I've been filling this up. Now I can top this with whatever I want and plant in it. Any water coming out can be used to water other plants. See, water comes out and it's growing things on the bottom there. See what we're doing? Now I'm almost done with this. Got all kinds of kitchen scraps in here. Okay, I don't need to bury this. I could, but I put that in there so the birds can come in and eat the fruit flies. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh, that's funny. You know what this is? I know what this is. Oh, I didn't see that the other day. How much is growing in here? These are potatoes. Potato skins growing. If I wanted to, for fun, I don't know if I should, I could cover this right now with soil, anything from the ground, let these potatoes take off, and then I could still plant in here, layering things in pots and see what happens. But this is potatoes growing from the skins that they say you can't grow in compost until it's broke down. I have grown more food in compost that looks like this. Watch my videos on that. They will grow in this and there's no soil in here. This is anything you see that's dark is, let's see, hold on. Where's my stick? Oh, here it is. It's the soil breaking down. All this underneath that you see is dark, this is the matter that's in here breaking down. See? This is the food matter. This is what it looks like. You're talking weeks. It breaks down right away. Now, if you've got anything like earthworms, grab them and throw them in there. They love this. But your seedlings that get in there, I didn't think there were any seeds in here because I wasn't planning on doing this. What I was doing is doing this. It's turned all brown. I'm going to put something on the top. It could be potting soil. It could be just dirt from the ground and then start planting in it. But now I don't know if I really want to try to save potatoes. It's probably russet potatoes from the grocery store. And then here, same thing. Look at all the stuff growing. There's no soil in here at all. These are just things growing. See, it all breaks down. It looks like soil. And the fruit flies that you see flying out, oh, the birds love it. That's why we have hundreds of warblers, all kinds here because of that. And then same thing here, I try to keep it, you know, where we're not going to get to the top. As soon as we get to a certain point, it's going to drop down anyways. We start to plant in here. I did not put these. That's what the change was. Let me back up. This was here for me to compost all winter. I didn't think we would even think about growing until March and April. But looking at what's going on now, and since I haven't started the wall yet back here, all along here, I don't know what I'm going to do. We were going to expand with another dog kennel because the dog kennels keep the squirrels out. Squirrels are our biggest issue here. We have gophers, another reason we can't grow in the ground, because as soon as you start to grow, they come to eat the wonderful roots of your plants. So we had to change how we grow, at least me, and that's why I went in the totes. This was temporary. I was going to go in here, which it still could be. I could change my mind. Dig all this out. It's a lot of work, but that's okay. Shovel this out, put it in a wheelbarrow, and move it to wherever I want, maybe on some of those totes. But now that we're looking at spring maybe already here, though we could end up with a cold snap next month and anything I would plant now would just disappear. And if it does, it does. I'd start over again. I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's up in the air. I don't know if I'm going to leave this year, maybe put a dog kennel here. I'm not sure. But we had plans. We had a new design we were going to do. And I'm kind of in limbo right now. So the dog kennel's bought. It's just that where is it going to go? Now, Gary's going to set some up in his garden, I believe. He's got ideas and he's going to do something with it. That's why he kind of changed his mind on the one he set up there. He hadn't used it, and then he told me, you know what? You can use it. He wants to stick with his garden. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking of putting some squash seeds in here for fun and seeing if it grows in the first one. If zucchini takes off now, it does. This is what I'm saying. If you're growing and you come back to me and you say, we're 0 degrees, I've lost my garden, it all died back, what do I do? You just gained extra soil. Look at it that way. It's nature. Nature does it. Maybe the weather comes in like that so everything will start fresh. We don't know what their plans are. There's no one to ask. Maybe they just come through, freeze the ground, everything dies back, and then you start fresh. And the roots that live on certain plants that come back, they come back stronger and more beautiful because they're completely down on the ground and they're throwing new leaves. So try to look at things. This is the way I try, is there's a reason for everything. And start fresh when you're ready. See what comes up, see what grows, see what's going on in your yard, and then think about what you want to grow. I have mustard growing. We'll walk over there in a minute on the ground. I have mustard growing in containers. This is where it planted itself. And this is what you're going to find when the snow starts to melt. What nature is doing. You have no control sometimes on certain things that nature does. Though we can alter it, change it as we go, there's certain things that we just don't have any control of. So we have to do what we can do. So what do? Do I get rid of those totes? Do I move them or do I plant in them? You know what? I bet you some of you are going to tell me, grow vining plants and let them go on the top. I can. Here's my issue. The squirrels come running and go, oh, we can sit on top and eat all the plants we want. Though I could tool the whole thing, and tool is the biggest lifesaver in the garden. I don't know. I'd like to see what you think I should do, and I'll wait and see what you say. As far as here, this just took off. This got bigger than I thought. Those are all done. All the ginger and turmeric's been pulled out of that. It was more turmeric than ginger, and I've been eating it. These still have to be done, but if we're going in the spring and the plants still look good, I've been digging through, I could leave them, but if they're too tight, then I won't get the growth and the amount of food growing. Look at this, a cutting I put here. It's going to flower. You think it's spring? This is geraniums. Geraniums here, though, a lot of them flower all year. So let's say I don't redo this. I don't pull it out. If this is packed with turmeric, all it's going to do is bulge the bowl in the pot, and it won't do anything. And that's why it really is good to tip it out, take out what you want, freshen up the soil, and put it back. So I'm going to continue doing it. All those are done. There's a few others around here that are done. I emptied a small one the other day. I didn't get a video clip. One this size, it was packed. Literally. The whole thing, I don't even know where the soil went. It was completely gone, and it was all turmeric. So I'm still working on all this. And look at here. I don't want it, but I believe this is a pepper tree. Oh yeah, where's Mama? Where is Mama? Oh my gosh. No, Gary doesn't want any pepper trees, but look, they dropped their seeds in here and things are growing. This is stinging nettles. Gary has a method of using it. I am allergic to this stuff, though I can grab it from the base when it's small and I can let it break down. You make good compost tea out of it. I do not make a tea out of it, though Gary does. And there is a method in which you have to do it. If you do it wrong, you can end up with problems. This is where I like sitting sometimes. Just sitting here and looking at things. The chair garden is untouched. It looks exactly like it did 2 weeks ago. It probably looks exactly like it did a month ago. I'm going to work on this soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to plant in here because the pepper tree is so big that I have done watermelon in here. I do zucchini in here, fantastic. Maybe I'll do this all zucchini. These are my plans because it doesn't get as much sun as other places do. So zucchini and squash and different types of tomatoes do really good in here. I do have broccoli still growing, but that wall is slightly warm, not too warm, and it gets sun pretty much all year. I mean, look, we're in winter. Look at all the sun it gets from morning till night. That really should be the place that I want to grow watermelon. Anything that can use tons of sun. Because when I grow it further down there, see there's a little avocado tree down there. Hold on, I'll zoom in for a minute. There it is. See that avocado tree? Well, see the shade? It's not going to get sun for a couple hours. And I did grow a watermelon down there, but I think this would be the place to grow. And then also do different types of tomatoes and even onions. Onions love a lot of sun. I want to get more onions growing. That is something I prefer growing than buying from the grocery store. You buy a 5-pound bag. Let's say it's a 3-pound bag. And I think they're about, let's say $4. That's not bad. Better than, I mean, potatoes are just so cheap. But I want to grow my own because a lot of times I want to go out into the garden, which I've done a lot, and pick a small one. I only want a little onion today. So I pick a smaller one. And I pack them in there. I've done it where you guys come in here screaming, it's wrong, you can't pack them in there. What are you doing? How can you put 20, 25 onions in a tote? Because I pick the ones in between as they grow, especially when I don't know where to put them all and I get a big package, let's say I buy or grow. And I pick the small ones in between and let the other ones grow and spread. So you can pick them as needed. It works out fantastic. It works for me. You've got to garden what works for you. And that just so happens works for me. So I've got to get, let's say, onions growing. I know I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. Greens are your biggest thing. Greens are your healthiest things to grow. And that's one thing. Purple tree collard, green collard, it doesn't matter. Sage, Swiss chard. I grow the different colors, though I do prefer green over all of them. You got to grow what you're going to eat. Oh gosh, I got a lot more broccoli on here too. Oh, it's loaded. These are, like, they call them sprouting broccolis, but see, you get these little heads. And they're fantastic. This I'll cater to. I'll clean it all up. My strawberry bed down here that I bought, it's probably a Seascape. No tag in there. No, they grow all year and I periodically get strawberries. And then I've got celery. So you really want to grow what you're going to eat and you'll be happier. I've got to get that canvas out. It broke the tote. It has such a massive root system. And that's my fault. Gary warned me. I've got all these seed pods and yep, it busted through the tote. So this will come out and I'll transplant it somewhere else. But the hummingbirds love this so much. Maybe those will go in 5-gallon buckets. I can move them around. This is a favorite of the hummingbirds. But this is my garden, just like your garden is your garden. And you want to grow what you want to eat or you enjoy looking at. I hear something. I just hear the rustle of the leaves of the plants and the birds singing. I just want to stop sometimes and listen. Don't you? This Gary built, he builds a lot of these. He wraps them, let's look at this one over here, in cardboard. He picks all the weeds because the weeds have to go out, and the last thing you want to do is throw them away. They all get yanked out. They get loaded in there. This truck bed was growing Swiss chard. The seeds blew in there and it grew its own thing. And they're still growing now. And they've been growing for what, almost 2 years? This is fantastic. I come and harvest all the time here. Scrambled eggs. Oh, with Swiss chard in them? So good. And it could be raw, or you could steam them and then strain them, drain them really good and then put them in the eggs. Really good. Look at those red stems. Green drink, a little bit in the green drink. When I make my green drink, it's a little bit of everything. Oh, look at that. All that is pot marigold. I've got to dig those out. I have places for those things. I've got Swiss chard there, purple. I've got the, purple red, and then the red and green mix. But that is all pot marigold. And why? Because the plant's been growing here, dropping seeds, and it's growing. So that I will hike over there and get those out. That's an old fig leaf gourd. I don't use a lot of it, so I don't know how much I'm going to grow. I wish I could figure out a way to cook it or eat it where I really like it, because that is one of the most hardiest plants you can grow. And then it grows like a squash, fig leaf gourd, and it doesn't die back. So in other words, we have to replant, let's say zucchini, butternut squash, all that, kabocha. But with fig leaf gourd, I'm looking to see if there's one popping up. They'll pop up on their own from the roots. Now, they may be smothered out by this geranium that I planted. There's 3 geraniums in there, and they're in buckets, but they've set their roots in here. Oh, look. You sleeping? Oh, don't touch me. See the milkweed? I've got milkweed everywhere. So we're loaded with monarchs. As my neighbors tell me, it's really a shame we have no monarchs here. Okay. I don't argue with people. I've tried to tell them there is, but they say no, so no is no. The ponds, I still haven't decided how much I'm going to get into them. We have a raccoon issue, and this is their big thing. They come here, they take baths, they do their thing, and then they tear everything apart in the ponds. So we'll decide. But, we've made a full circle and probably spent an hour out here. The thing is, when you garden, you want to grow what you want to grow. You want to grow what you're going to enjoy. You don't let people tell you, oh my gosh, that is so sad, which it is sad, but it's nature. You get snow in your area. You get the cold. That's what it does. I have never lived that way, but I've seen movies. I've been in cold places visiting. I know what it looks like. That's what nature does. And it does different things in different areas. So you've got to take what your area is like and figure out what's going to grow for you. Speaking of growing, look at this. A tomato coming up right in the middle of nowhere. Not only is it a tomato coming up, but look at the trunk on this thing. I don't know. I tell you all the time, I'm not going to cater to all this stuff. I've got all kinds of stuff growing over there. But I could put a wire basket around it. Probably. We'll see. Grow what you like. Don't fret if something dies, because nature doesn't get it right all the time. Nature experiments with plants all the time. Some things make it and grow beautiful, and some things don't. And then something else pops up in its place. Sometimes the same type of plant, because it's not just the plants, the type, the species. Sometimes it's an individual plant will have a different trait than its brother or sister from the same pod off the plant. One plant can tolerate a little extra cold or tolerate a little extra sun. So that's why if you can grow things that come up in your own yard, like tomato plants and different things, you can get a very hardy plant. Will you get exactly what you want? I don't know. Things don't always come back the same. A lot of your sun gold tomatoes, if you save the seeds, they don't look exactly the same because a lot of the sun golds are made from hybridized tomatoes. So if you save the seeds, they probably won't be orange. I have not had orange tomatoes come up maybe one time from seeds I've saved. They're more of a reddish, more red, because it got hybridized. Tomatoes will hybridize. So I will tell you, I don't have any right now. I've got them growing down here, and I am going to pull all this out and start over here. The yellow, I almost stepped on my tomato plant. That's what's going to happen to you. The yellow tomatoes, they look like pears. They grow true. Those seeds you can save, you can give to somebody, and they grow really great. Just exactly what you were growing here, they will come back up the same. I should grab a couple. No, I think I've got some saved. Look at this. These are really good. You save the seeds from this one, and you will end up with yellow tomatoes. That one's not ripe yet, but they grow really true, where if you save from a sun gold, you'll get something, but it won't be the sun gold. So you want to continue to grow what works good in your garden. And if you have a small garden, definitely, if it's tiny, grow food that grows an abundance of food. Your greens, your broccoli, your brassicas, you're going to get a whole lot more bang for your buck than you will if you get something really exotic. Don't grow pepinos if you're trying to grow things in your garden, because they grow a few here and there. Grow something like tomatoes, that if you like tomatoes. You don't like tomatoes, do peppers. You don't like peppers, do celery. Do a lot of your different herbs. And change it up. It didn't work out the way you thought? Change it up. Put something else there. Something that's going to make you happy. Something that's going to make you want to grow more, because I'm going to tell you something. I eat for my health, which is very important for me. Do I eat other things? Do I bake cakes and cookies? Yes, I do. But I eat for my health. So I make sure every day, no matter what, that I come through here and I forage, including sow thistle leaves, believe it or not. Pick sow thistle, sometimes nasturtiums, and this goes in my green drink. So let's say this has got a nutrient, a mineral, or something in it that something else that I'm growing doesn't. I'm going to get it from there. And I have a whole mix of greens, and Gary does too. It gives us energy. And like my doctor told me, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Don't stop. And that's what I'm doing. Make a green drink every day. Sometimes, shame on me, I only make enough to have one big green drink, but I really should have it 2 or 3 times a day. And it works fantastic for my health. You see, I have a lot of energy. That's it. Greens are the most important thing. And I'll be honest, I'm going to tell you something that I don't even know if I talked about this. I don't like greens. There's a lot of food I don't like. I don't care for collard steamed, and Gary loves it. I steam it. I take a tiny bit. I like salad though. But steamed collard greens or brassicas, the only one I really like is the Swiss chard. I don't like it. But it's so important to be part of your diet, greens, that the way I'm going to get it is by drinking it. And I drink it by just making a glass and drinking it down. And then it's gone, and I'm on my merry way doing my own thing. I don't like greens. But I know it's the most important vegetable to get into your body. And the easiest thing to grow. Keep that in mind. If you like greens, more power to you. Thank goodness Gary does. He grew up on a lot of greens. I grew up with broccoli and spinach, and that's basically it. And I was never a big salad eater, though I do enjoy growing lettuce now and eating lettuce, so that's good. And I can add in tomatoes and everything I want to chop up and put in there. But I want to drink the food that I'm not going to eat, and that's why I grow a lot of greens. And moringa, which is over there, that goes into my green drink. So it's a whole mix of things. I've got videos on it. Celery goes into my green drink. I'll go through and forage some celery, some green sorrel, red vein sorrel, and of course I put moringa in there. And I try different things and I mix it up. If I don't get to the moringa, okay. So I don't get to the moringa this time, maybe tomorrow. Look at this. This tree is making a massive comeback. But this is what keeps me going, and this is what gives me energy. And if you don't like the taste of it, put in some grape juice, put in apple juice, whatever you want. Sweeten it up a little bit and just drink it. And I'll tell you, my green drinks, go check the videos. I don't use a juicer. I don't believe in a juicer. I'm not going to waste putting my food in a juicer and toss the pulp out. Everything gets, the way I make it, I drink the whole plant. So when I not the whole plant, but the whole leaf. We drink the whole thing. That's the way we like it. And with me, I like adding in ground flaxseed. So I add in a teaspoon or two of ground flaxseed after I've made it, when I go to sit down to have a drink. Stir it up really good, and boom, I drink it. And that is what gives me energy. All right, I think I've talked enough. You've seen the whole garden. The only thing you didn't see was the pizza garden, but there's nothing to see. So tell me what you think. I'm not sure on this, what to do here. I really had plans of expanding this, and then I ended up setting this up temporarily. Well, you know, we'll see what happens. I'll read your comments, what I should do here. I think it would look really cool. I just don't think I could grow on the top unless I tooled the whole thing. And then they'll come from the other side. Again, the squirrels. Why? Because they've got there the pomegranate trees, the citrus trees, they hide underneath, and then they come running out. Oh, let's see what she's planted for us. Cute little critters. But on the inside, they can't get in there. Right now, insects can. I don't get a lot of insects, but if they ever got on my nerves, I told you I'd quickly wrap the whole thing in tulle. That would be easy. This would be easy to wrap in tulle. Here I put some plastic back here. Just a drop cloth. Oh, actually, this one is from the 99-cent store. It's a shower curtain, see? Just so it doesn't get, you can see the holes there for hanging it up. And that broke the wind a little bit so the plants can grow along there that I was propagating. So that's what's been going on. So I don't know. I think the nice thing about a garden is it's never done. It's always evolving into something else. And that's what makes it so interesting and so fun. The pizza garden, some of it went dormant. There is in here turmeric. If it's got a pink tag, it's turmeric. And then these are different mints and Thai basil, I believe. This, I don't know if this will be able to grow a second year. Maybe if I take care of it a little better or trim it down, but I'll probably just start new basil. This is from last year. It grew actually from 2024 through 2025. Now we're in 2026. I don't know if it's going to grow anymore, but we'll see on that. I got garlic chives down here. And then I've got sage here, rosemary. This is where the thyme did not make it, but the one you saw in the dog kennel, it's growing right there. That one made it. So it's kind of a hit and miss. I've got a pepper here that's still growing. It looks a little sad because they don't like the cold weather, but they're still growing peppers. You can always cover it. I didn't bother. And then I've got oregano on there. Now it's interesting. The pot died back, though I see some new growth. This is oregano. A piece got on the ground, started to grow. Again, sage. And then here is pepinos. I've got pepinos on the bottom. I've got pepinos here. And this pepper didn't make it in the cold, but this pepino made it. You really need to do new cuttings and clean this up. It was growing in this little pot. Now it's set its roots into that bucket. So we'll see what happens here. And then red vein sorrel, very happy, in a bucket that's sitting on top of another container. So it's got the whole container to itself. This geranium cutting I found quite a few years ago, a little piece. Now I've got geraniums from this one. It's like a Martha Washington, purple flower, all from one cutting I picked up. So it's amazing what we can do by taking a walk sometimes and bringing a little piece of plant that maybe accidentally fell off in your hand when you were walking because it was growing over on the sidewalk or the walkway. It was in the way and you reached down and you touched it and a little piece came off. So what are they going to do? I should do this too. Anyways, I digress. Everybody have a wonderful day. Think about your garden. If it's died back for the winter, if you're under snow, think of it as rest time, just like nature does. Everything goes dormant. Everything goes into hibernation. And in another couple months, you're going to be bursting into life. You're going to be putting out your bird feeders for your birds, your water fountains for your hummingbirds, your hummingbird fountains, your hummingbird feeders and everything. And you're going to be starting a garden. And if you're not gardening and you're watching me for entertainment, garden something, because I think once you start to garden something that you love and like, and you get to pick something that you get to eat right off your plant, it changes your whole world. It really does. And then it's like, wow, that is real food. because the stuff from the grocery store right now, being treated the way they do, sometimes doesn't have the vitamins that you would think are in there. So you don't want to be fooled, and you can't be fooled when you're growing it on your own. With that, have a wonderful day. I'm going to go in and get some breakfast now if he hasn't eaten everything up. And I am going to work a little bit in the garden today. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, it's just growing everywhere. Oh, wow. Okay, we'll string you up, and we'll let you take off for a second year. I finished the garden tour. Do you want to come out for a few minutes? I got to keep an eye on you because of coyotes. But you can come out here with me. Come on. And off she goes. She's on the hunt. She doesn't like squirrels. She chases them out of the garden. So off she goes. She has a job. So there she goes. She's wandering around. Isn't that gorgeous? In a matter of a couple hours, it's pretty much fully open now. That's the blanket flower. Wow. Okay, where is she? There she is. And off she goes. Busy little dog.